The boss is back, and that's one hell of an interesting contract signing.
What up, Mox?
Guys, get into this nice Friday Night Smackdown review and reaction to some interesting stuff going on with Baron Corbin in this one. Now, the show starts off with John Cena in the ring, cutting his John Cena promo, having the fans all in there. He's got the fans in the palm of his hand, talking about Roman Reigns, talking trash about him, how he's just a product of the machine. That's what he is, the most over-push guy there is. Just trashing him left and right. Talking about he has to change his gimmick every 2 years because people don't accept him for who he is because he's not genuine, all this stuff like that. Then he gets interrupted by Baron Corbin, who comes out asking for money. And now all of a sudden, because he got hit in the balls last week by Shotzi's tank, his stuff doesn't work. So he can't, he's sexually challenged at this point because of that. So he asks for money, and Cena gives him a little bit. And obviously, Cena's balling. He's a big movie star. He's got a ton of money. He's not giving him any handouts, and he just gives him an attitude adjustment, and there you go. And that's how the show starts off.
Something you very desperately need. An attitude adjustment. Oh, Cena's held enough!
Yeah, I mean, I'm loving the promos between Roman and Cena because, there's some truth in those promos. Like, there's a lot of truth. So that adds to, like, it felt like the Rocket Cena where they were both talking shit about each other, but it was true stuff. And this has that same vibe, and that's what we miss in wrestling, really, just like the fact of true stuff coming out, and that's what they're doing. So these promos are great. Yep. I'm loving it. The Baron Corbin stuff was funny. It was fun, especially at the end of it, to like lighten up the whole mode after Cena ripped on Roman for like 5 minutes. So it was good. I liked it, and the fact that his junk don't work. I mean, what's worse than that? You got no money. You're broke. They took your car. Your junk don't work.
I don't get any worse than that.
It doesn't get much worse than that. Like, the guy's literally at rock bottom. So
yeah,
poor guy, right? I gotta feel bad for him.
But now it's the opportunity to start building more on this and getting more outlandish with the stuff you do, like we've booked before with Baron Corbin. Now is the time. You got him there with Cena. You did the stuff later on. Now you can start getting him in other situations that can really get this character super over and get people like rally behind him. That you could eventually set up a match where he is like fighting for like $500,000 in cash or some shit like that.
Yeah. Just to get back to normal, just back to life. We get behind him. But like, this is, it's gradual. Like we said, this could be the most interesting Baron Corbin that we've ever seen. So I'm excited. Like, they're doing pretty good. I mean, it's slow. But I like a slow book. I don't need to be all be done in 5 minutes. Like, we're in this age of nobody has any type of. It's just everything has to be quick. So I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, it's been good stuff so far. It's just like now they can start like really going out there with it. But the next thing on the show, we have Rey Mysterio versus Jimmy Uso. Last week it was Jay versus Dominic. Now it's Jimmy versus Rey. So we're getting this match, and in the end, the Mysterios get the win. Rey Mysterio pins Jimmy Uso with the help of Dominic holding, the pin down like Jay has done before for his brother. So tit for tat there. We'll just see where this ends up going. I mean, it's just probably gonna end up at SummerSlam, another rematch tag.
Yeah, this is your typical WWE booking of we're checking up, combinations of these certain matches, and like, they went to back-to-back weeks of both different teams cheating again to get the win. So just your standard run-of-the-mill booking, but they had a decent match. Those guys couldn't have a bad match if they tried, so it was what it was. But this is definitely gonna lead to SummerSlam tag team titles on the line, and we'll see who wins that one.
Yeah, definitely will be interesting to see how the bloodline continues on and their role going into SummerSlam. Now, the next thing on the show, Bianca Belair is out there cutting a promo. She gets interrupted by Carmella. Carmella wants another shot against Bianca for that championship because she can't lose enough. Then you have, she's like 0 for 7 because she lost all those matches against Sasha Banks, and then she lost them all against Bianca Belair. Then Zelina Vega comes out and she wants a shot at the title. They both end up beating down the babyface Bianca Belair, and then the returning boss Sasha Banks comes, re-debuts. She comes back, she makes her big return, and she comes out.
It's boss time! Sasha Banks is back!
Return, and she comes out and saves Bianca Belair, and then like hugs her and is in love with her. Like, they're just so joyous and having friendship at the end of this. So we all knew where it was kind of headed. It's kind of obvious, but there's no other contenders right now for this title because you have Carmella losing so much, and then it's just there's nobody else out there. So we knew the SummerSlam matchup was going to be Sasha versus Bianca. That's what we're going to get.
Yeah, Does anybody believe that Zelina and Carmella are anywhere near the title picture?
Yeah.
Should be even involved? No, the reason they're there is because Bayley's hurt. That's basically what it is, and they have no one else that they built to get to Bianca's level. So Sasha making the comeback, awesome comeback. The babyface, she's back as a babyface. She helps her out. Babyface for a couple hours or maybe like an hour or so, but still a fun way for her to come back. But yeah, I mean, this is the match. It's the summer. It's the WrestleMania of the summer. It's the second biggest show of the year. So let's have the biggest match. Let's have the rematch. So it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense to run it back and then probably get the belt off of Bianca here. I think probably the best thing is Sasha another run, because Bianca's run has been kind of lackluster, but it also hurts her that she's a babyface in WWE. That tends to not work out too much nowadays, and there's nobody really else on the roster to kind of compete with her. All right, so next thing on the show is it's an interesting one. All right, so it's a 24/7 championship match, and now it's in-ring announced beforehand, which is the dumbest thing ever because it defeats the purpose of the actual belt.
Yes.
Now, Reginald is now called Reggie, right? So this is what we got going on. So Reggie, I like to call him Reg, but whatever. So he has a match, and he's an open challenge, and the challenger ends up being, it looks like it's going to be Otis of Alpha Academy, but he says, no, it's not me, it's him, meaning Chad Gable, and he attacks Reggie in the process. Then the match ends in a disqualification. So you decided to, first off, have a pre-plan a match or announce a match for a title that's defended 24/7 any place, anytime. Then on top of that, a disqualification is an actual outcome to this match when it's defended in a parking lot, defended in a supermarket, defended on a football field. It's like makes no sense whatsoever. But I guess Reggie is so over, or he's so goated, that the fact that he could bring this title to SmackDown, because it was exclusively to Raw.
Yeah, I mean, this was an F. Like, it was just terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible shit. Yeah,
this was terrible stuff. This was offensively bad. It served no logic. It made no sense. It had no continuity with what was going on for like the last, what's it around 2 years probably. This damn 24/7 stuff. I literally saw R-Truth lose it in like his neighborhood on like he was on a walk outside of his house, and he lost it in the street. Like, it's like, but you're gonna sit there and you're gonna pull this crap with us? Like, it's dumb. And like, again, like, what's with the names in WWE? Why can't he call Reginald? Why does he call me Reggie? Like, just stop cutting the names out. What's the big deal? Like, it just make it like Hulk Hogan had 2 names. Steve Austin had 2 names. The Rock had 2 names. Like, it's just stupid. It's just they keep continuing doing this thing, but none of this made any sense. It may be time to just ask 24/7 title, get it off. Like, if you're gonna go down this route where you're like announcing before the match, it loses any interesting, at least entertainment that it had. Where maybe, like, where's he gonna lose the title? At a supermarket, at a Walmart, in the parking lot. Now it's just like we're just having a match out front. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this makes no sense whatsoever as to why this is going down, but it's what we got. Now, another thing that makes not much sense is what we got next. The contract signing for the Universal Championship match. Remember, Roman Reigns declined Cena's challenge and accepted the challenge of Finn Balor. So the contract signings for Finn Balor versus Reigns at SummerSlam. We all kind of had the feeling it wasn't going to happen. So now it's awesome always as Reigns does the contract signing. He literally sits at the head of the table for it. So it's kind of a new look on the contract signing. He cuts a promo. He's obviously, talking trash about Finn Balor, but, not overtly talking trash. So he's, talking him up, but knowing sarcastically he's saying it that like he doesn't really believe in him. He's just gonna smash. He tells him, I'm gonna smash you, and it's gonna be a wrap. I did like Balor's responses, and I liked his demeanor. But then it seems like, okay, the contract's gonna be signed. Here comes Balor to sign the contract. Then here comes Baron Corbin comes out, and he beats the living hell out of Finn Balor. Then he's gonna sign the contract, and then here comes John Cena and throws Corbin out of the ring, and then Cena.
What? He said desperate men do desperate things.
And then Cena signs the contract, and somehow this is all contractually, okay and legally okay, and it can all work, and it's all fine and dandy because Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville were like, yeah, we're cool. It sounds good. It sounds like a plan. Cena versus Reigns is what we're getting at SummerSlam. So
it's already signed, and John Cena's now signing the deal. That signature is awesome.
So you give us the thought that Balor is going to be in the title picture, then you kind of just toss him to the side immediately like that as like a byproduct of you trying to get to Cena Reigns. No wonder as to why he went back to NXT and never got that great of a run on the main roster after getting hurt.
Yeah, like we talked about last week, we were nervous about Finn back and being in this picture, and like we just hoping that we didn't fuck him up, and they literally messed it up in literally like a week. It took him a week to mess it up. Like how are you gonna put him in with the biggest man in wrestling at the moment in the entire world of wrestling? Roman Reigns is the biggest attraction, and you literally make him look like an afterthought.
Yeah.
We had Baron Corbin come in, the man who's
which is the only good. It was the only good part of him of the whole thing was Baron Corbin actually looked like he was going to sign in. That would have been kind of interesting, but yeah.
I mean, it would have been interesting, but still, like, how are we going to make Finn Balor? How can we be serious? We have Baron Corbin doing this joke gimmick, which I get. It was funny. It would have worked. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But still, it's like we're trying to make Finn a viable star and someone interesting on the main roster that we know this is a second chance. And he cut a good promo. I like the promo that he cut versus Roman. He didn't seem out of place. It worked. It was all believable, and then we're gonna cut this, and then to have John Cena come in and be the guy at the end. This has all the vibes of Hogan coming in versus Yokozuna and Bret Hart, and just like, oh, you're the guy now, go take it. Like this is what it felt like. It's like we're just damning Finn Balor to like the third row. It's like, get out of here, bro. We just threw you in here for a week for no apparent reason. Now we just got you. This is how we want to get to Cena versus Roman.
And then we give you Corbin in the process. Like you'll end up like diverting from this, like kind of exiting off the highway. Just you got Corbin now because we did it this way. It's like
what was the point? Because at the end of the pay-per-view, it was Cena and Roman to end the show, so you could have just kept going from there. There was no reason to throw Finn Balor involved if you're gonna push him aside the week later. It just why?
Yeah.
You just why? You're just ruining Finn. We literally talked about last week. We hope you don't ruin Finn, and a week later you ruined Finn. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and then we'll see how it turns out with him and Baron Corbin leading up, and Baron Corbin going. That was the only good part of the whole thing was just Baron Corbin like seemed like he was gonna sign the contract. But yeah, it was not good. It was not smart. It was not. I mean, you could have Baron Corbin come out. But he didn't have to take out Finn Balor. You didn't have to have Finn Balor at all on this spot. You could have had Baron Corbin maybe try to sign instead of John Cena signing or something like that, and then Cena attacks him.
Or just continue the Cena Reigns feud, have Roman be like, whatever, piss off, and then finally come to it where they sign the agreement. Like, you didn't have to throw anybody else. You had to involve no one else. You had it booked already. Cena Roman books itself. You did it. What's the point of tossing people into it if you're just going to push them to the side and make them feel less important? It makes no sense.
It doesn't. But the next thing on the show was just the regular six-man tag. It was Big E, Cesaro, Nakamura defeating Ziggler, Rude, and Apollo Crews. So it just is what it is. We'll see how this all turns out when it comes to the IC title picture going into SummerSlam. Not much to talk about there. Next thing on the show was Edge coming out. And this was an interesting one. Edge is going to come out because of what happened last week with Seth Rollins and all the issues you have with Seth Rollins. As he's making his entrance, he cuts a commercial. When they come back, Seth Rollins is in the ring because he beat down Edge. I did like the fact that they kind of did it during the commercial break, so you're kind of like it feels a little bit more real that he would do it during it, like the way it was. He cut a promo. He said, "If I can't be Universal Champion, neither can Edge." So Rollins Edge SummerSlam is gonna be awesome stuff.
Yeah, I mean, this books itself. Both guys have had like a little bit of history. They've been throwing that around. We knew this was coming. This segment was good. I enjoyed it. Seth feels it's growing more and more important as he's been coming back. And him versus Edge just kind of grows Seth into eventually going against Roman. I mean, can he be the guy that beats Roman? I know you made a video this week about Roman having a run for a couple years. Which is possible, but if they book Seth the right way,
but he's got to be a babyface to beat him. He can't be a heel. That's weird.
He can. It's weird. Definitely heel is weird. But yeah, and like right now, is Seth beating Edge gonna make him a babyface? No, but we'll see where this goes. I mean, if they build Seth the right way, I'm not saying anytime soon, but maybe in WrestleMania, maybe Royal Rumble time. We'll see what happens. But definitely, I'm looking forward to Edge versus Seth. I'm going to enjoy that match.
Yeah, it could be the best match on the show. Now, the next thing was the big tag match. Bianca and Sasha teaming up to take on Carmella and Zelina from what happened earlier. They have a solid match. Sasha and Bianca get the win, and Sasha and her are hugging. They're dancing. It's like too friendly. You knew something was going to happen. I was kind of hoping they went with the Bianca turn, but whatever. They went with the Sasha turn. Which is obviously more obvious. I kind of wish they would have went the Bianca turn, but it is what it is. She would backstab, Bianca and then put her in the you know, in the bank statement for like forever. But I did like how Bianca really struggled. Yes, I love how she really struggled in that. Like it was like literally killing her. I love that aspect. Obviously, in a match, you may not go that far with the sell, but in this spot, it was so well done by her. Shout out to Bianca for selling it the way she did. She sold it like it was like life or death, and she was just trying to get out of it any way possible. Great stuff from her. But SummerSlam, this was gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, this made the most sense. The way that Bayley getting hurt obviously kind of like just makes the roster depth on the women's side just very weak. So Sasha coming in and facing Bianca for the rematch. They had a great match at WrestleMania. They basically had the best match at WrestleMania. That was like the highlight of Mania, was that first night. So coming back to it, SummerSlam is perfect. I did love the way, like you said, just her getting the sympathy as a babyface, and she's been the happy-go-lucky babyface, and like, I'm happy to be here babyface that people don't really get behind. So her being the sympathy babyface, where she's getting hurt, where she's, you know, in pain, beat up, and can she come back and beat her? That I think will work better for Bianca. And if she works from underneath like that and then pulls it off, where if she beats her again. If she beats Sasha, which might not make any sense because there's not really, again, like we said, there's no depth on the women's division right now where that's viable for where she go after that. I think where Sasha is champ, we can go back to her and Bianca, you know, vice versa, who's the champion and who's the contender. So I think that makes the most sense. But again, just Bianca as the sympathy babyface, I think works better for her.
Yeah, I think it does work better for her if she's going to be a babyface. It makes more sense. It's better off that way. She needs to really like fight from underneath a lot of the times and really be in tough situations. But that was Friday Night SmackDown. That's the way Friday Night SmackDown ended. That's our Friday Night SmackDown review and reaction. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure to drop a like on this video. Hit the chair in the corner for hits you first. Make sure you check out that Roman Reigns, the problem WWE has with Roman Reigns. Hit all the points as to why Roman Reigns is so damn good, how he's so damn good, and how WWE's kind of in a bad spot because he is so damn good and nobody else can actually compete with him. Make sure you check that one out and drop a like and everything good on that one. And without further ado, guys, if it doesn't work for you, do not do the job.
Dude, Marks.